What's up? What's up? What's up?
How y'all doing today?
What's up, family? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. How is, I guess you just said that, huh? How's everyone doing today?
Don't you sidetrack with it?
I'm not. I'm getting, are y'all decoded, ready to go and live? That's not right. Today, I had my coffee this morning, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Man, we really miss y'all. We missed last week from a
did.
family
We
situation.
did.
So this brings us joy. We was talking to one of our people earlier. It was like, y'all hard to get in touch with. We are, but at the same time, we like what we do. So like this brings us joy. Talking to different people brings us joy. So we love what we do. So we kind of miss y'all.
We
So
miss, not
glad
kind
to
of, no,
be
like we miss
not
you
be.
guys a lot. Listen, I've been with Antonio too much, you guys, over the last few days. I need some out. I need y'all in my life. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Okay.
Put you out.
Put me out. Put me out. Put me out. Put me out. Put me out.
We have a special guest today. You're going to hear about his journey. You're going to hear about his experiences. You're going to hear about his mental. The one thing that we promote is not talking over other electronics while we're talking. The one thing that we promote is entrepreneurship and the mindset. Like it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter what you learn. If your mindset isn't right, it's not going to be 100% successful, or you're not going to reach the maximum that you can reach. So mental is always where we like to start and continue. All right.
Absolutely. So tag your friends, come on in the room. If you have been trying to accomplish some goals since the first of the year and you have failed to accomplish those goals because you keep putting them off, things happen, life happens, everything happens. And listen, we're at half of the year. Saturday is June 1st. We got 6 months left to really still hit our goals, still make things happen for ourselves, for our families. So tag them, invite them in the room, invite them in, let's talk, and let's get ready.
That's right.
You ready, Sonia?
Let's go.
Let's do it. What up, Devin? How are you?
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm good.
What's up? All right. I'm off the beginning. So you will never believe what made you attracted to me.
Okay.
You're never going to believe it.
Well, let's see if he can guess first.
He can't guess. It's impossible for him to guess.
Let him try.
One guess.
That's a hard one. I have no idea. Like I got
no idea. So I'm gonna tell you this, and you're gonna laugh. My high school is named Dillard High School. So when I see your name, that's what made me started paying attention to what you was doing, because your last name is Dillard. So
yeah,
would have never guessed that.
I told you, I never guessed it. Like
yeah, I would
know that. So hey, one time for a good name.
Hey, that's a win. That's a win.
That is a win.
My name is Antonio Denmark.
My name is Ashley Denmark. We went to high school at Dillard High School, I guess.
You went to my high school?
Goodbye. I never thought about that. Enough about. I don't want to talk about us. I want to talk about Devin. Devin, who is Devan Dillard? Like, obviously, you have nothing to do with our high school in Fort Lauderdale. So, who is Devan Dillard?
I guess that's kind of a loaded question, but I'll try my best to answer it.
Okay.
I'm a dad of 5. I'm a man of God, somebody who's really strong in his faith. Married for 10 years, married my high school sweetheart. So yeah, I've known my wife since like 16. And I love business. Like I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. I've been selling stuff since I was probably like 15. So I've always been a person who wants to create his own income. I knew at 16 I wasn't going to be working a job my whole life. After about 2 months of working a job, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is for me. Let me figure something else out.
Where you work at?
I worked at a place called Putt Putt, where they did like mini golf and go-karts and stuff like that. And I made pizza. That's all I did. All I did was make pizza for people. And I could not stand it. I worked like 3 days a week. And this was back when minimum wage was like $5.50. Like it was ridiculous. And they were still taking taxes out of that. So like imagine my checks after like 1 week. My daughters got it good. So I knew I wasn't going to stick around for that for long. I can make more money washing cars on the weekend than working a full week at work. So I started doing that. But that's kind of my journey started there. From where I am to now is like I'm an entrepreneur. Like I'm always looking to create things. One of my biggest passions is just seeing other people win, which is why I'm in the consulting space and the coaching space. I think over the past 5 years, I've helped probably 6 or 7 people become millionaires, like legit, like bringing in over $1 million in cash in their bank over the past 5 years, and done it for myself. Me and my business partner, we built multiple 7-figure businesses between us. And that's just been over the past 5 or 6 years now. So it's been a wild ride. And just seeing people win, seeing other people retire from their jobs, go full time into what they love. That's really what my focus and my heart is all about.
Sweet.
I can see, you wouldn't notice, Devin, but I can see the synergy. I can see why you gravitate to Devin a lot, because you guys are very similar. 5 kids.
Yeah.
We went to high school with each other. We probably met each other in middle school. We became friends in high school. We didn't start dating to college. And most of those things Tonya doesn't even account for those times until we got engaged. But we've been friends and things, friends like wings and things.
Friends and things. You just made some
things.
And all the stuff in between.
Right, all the stuff in between.
So we've been knowing each other.
Yeah, we've been knowing each other since middle school. But it wasn't real conversation until college, I would say. For real.
Agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So you had that entrepreneur book early. It's crazy you say watch cars, because I watch cars too.
Yeah.
Now I didn't watch them for myself, but I was watching them for another guy. And he would leave me there and I would run it in high school. And in my head, I'm like, I can do this for myself. Like, I don't think he's buying some soap. Shoot, I can buy some soap and do my own thing. So
soap in the bucket, baby. That's it.
In a cloth. You gotta be right.
So I can see that. So was your parents entrepreneur? Like, where did you get that bug from?
Yeah.
I honestly don't really know. My dad's dad, who I never really met, he was an entrepreneur. He was a dentist and he owned his own dental practice. But I don't know if you can pass that down in genetics and DNA, because I didn't have any entrepreneurs around me. Like there was no entrepreneurs around me in my family. I'm a very stubborn and hard to control type person. Like I like doing things my way. I'm very certain about my own ideas. And so like if you say something to me, like you got to back it up with like a bunch of data and facts. And if you can't do that, like you can't keep my attention. And I had that attitude at a very young age. And so when I had jobs and I knew that there were people that weren't as smart as me or not as capable as me leading me, I knew that I had to find another route to be able to lead myself. So
God bless your teachers.
yeah. Yeah, they didn't. I didn't do very well when it came to obedience in school either. I did great in grades, but my conduct wasn't very great.
I'm sure they knew then that it was something different about you. Because that reminds me so much of my son. Like he's gonna ask questions. He's gonna make sure that logically it makes sense with the things that he's accomplished, the things that he's seen, and then the things that you're telling him. Like all of that has to line up in order for him to really like legit follow you. Otherwise, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Totally agree.
All right. So
what your mom did? I know you talk about that. What your mom did for a living?
So both my parents worked at the post office. They both worked in different capacities. My dad was on the management side and kind of the admin supervisor level. And then my mom worked, like, if you ever heard like bulk mail centers where they move all the mail, where all the trucks go to pick up their stuff. Mm-hmm. So my mom worked in that place and she had a very physical, like laborious job. She moved packages. She was called a loader and packager. So it's like they moved everything, every piece of mail that came through the city went through there first, and they had to package it and move it and separate it and do all that. So she did that for 36 years, my entire life.
Your mother's in like great shape.
Yeah, not anymore now. She's had a couple of injuries, and so she's been kind of dealing with that, which is why she's not doing the same job that she was doing for all those years. But when I was a teenager in like middle school, like yeah, she put her hands on you, it's gonna be a wrap.
It's gonna hurt. Put her hands on you, put the balls on you.
Yeah, she get a hand on you, it's over.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Mom and dad works at the post office. Entrepreneur bug since early. When you really went and told them, hey, I'm not going to get a job as an adult, what was that conversation?
He probably said it as a teenager.
Yeah, oh yeah. I stopped working. I didn't get my first job until after like I was like 23. Like, and I had to because I had my daughter really early at 18 as I had my first kid. And I was a football player, so I went to college to play football. And I couldn't let that bug go. So I chased that dream for like 7-8 years, all the way to the end of college. Like I wouldn't have went to college if there wasn't for football. Like there would have been no college for Devan if football didn't exist. But football brought me into that college life and wanted to pursue it. So I ended up graduating from college with a business degree. That took 7 years because I bounced around from college to college chasing football, right, and fighting injuries. But they knew that, like, I started studying business because I wanted to go into business, right, and so they knew like that's where I wanted to go eventually. And I started my first legitimate business when I was 20, like a first like on paper business. 26 is when I was graduating school, my last semester. And
what was that? What type of business was that?
So my very first like on paper business where I like had a business name and all that was a network marketing business. Okay. And I did that. Me and my wife actually did it together for about 7 years. And when I tell you I was the guy that, like, if you were in line at Starbucks with me, I was going to learn your entire life story in Starbucks. Before you got your coffee.
Before you got your coffee.
Yeah. Like that's how I built that business. We didn't really do internet. We didn't do social media. I mean, I didn't have social media for a while during that time. And yeah, so like I built all of my business networking in person at events, in public, Barnes and Noble.
You didn't have any fears? Like you didn't have any reservations about just talking to people? Like
scared to death. I was an introvert. Scared. This is how introverted I was. I'll tell you this. This is a funny story. You know how you have like certain classes in college you have to take to graduate? One of those classes, oh, my camera's blurring. I'm gonna stop my camera and bring it back. It's gonna blur and come back. One of my classes that I just was too afraid to take was oral communications. Everyone had to take oral communications to graduate. It was like one of those foundational classes. And I kept putting it on my calendar and I kept dropping it. Because I would go to the class. I would go to the class and count how many people were in the class. I was like, I will never be able to give a speech in front of these 20 people. Like, never. So I would just drop it. Every semester I dropped it. At every school I went to, 20 people. There was never like huge classes. It was like 20 people. I actually ended up getting out of it because the last school that I went to was a literary arts school, it was a private school, and they had a substitute for it, which was what did they used to call it? Like when you ad lib act, when you just like they put you in a scene, improv. It was an improv class, and there were 7 people in there. I was like, I can go into this class and act a fool easily. And that's all I did was just act crazy and like do random stuff in these improv lessons, right? And I was like, I can do that. And so I got out of oral communications and having to give like legitimate speeches by taking that class. Scared to death.
Wow.
The one speech I had to do was a business class I took, and they made me do a speech, and I had to wear like a button-down shirt. I sweated that entire button-down shirt out. And I was talking about football. I was talking about something that I knew, but I was so nervous that I sweated that entire shirt out, and I only talked for like 4 minutes. It was terrible. It was terrifying.
When did the
change happen?
Yeah,
like
when did it switch?
I got mentors. Like I started like network marketing. They always talk about coaching and mentorship. And I had a guy that was around my age, probably like a year older, and he was very outgoing and very like, you know, he had those skill sets, those sales skill sets, those abilities to communicate and connect with people. And I was always one to never feel like I was inferior to anybody. Right. So when I realized, like, if this guy here, this kind of goofy white guy can be this, I can be better than that.
Yeah.
And so I made it up in my mind that I was going to be. And that fear immediately just dropped because I made up in my mind this is who I was going to become. And like my wife would tell you, like we were during that time, I became an entirely different person. Like the person you see and talk to right now did not exist pre 26 years old.
Absolutely.
I think you said something key though, and that was mentors. I mean, one of our pillars to success is mentorship. It's continued education. It's always growing. It's always evolving. And the thing about mentors is that mentors can cut your learning curve down so much.
Right.
Like you're trying to bump your head and figure it out, but if you get around the right mentors or even the right people that's willing to help you, it can expedite that learning curve so much. So I will say that it's good you went into network marketing because they do teach a lot of mentor compared to
and breaking down fears. Like I think network marketing is probably the hardest business that you can do, especially being an introvert. Like that is the hardest business you could possibly do because really your life depends on communicating, talking to people. Like your food, in order to get paid, you got to talk to people, you got to build relationships. And if you're an introvert, that's like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But like that's the hardest probably business you can do as an introvert, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I got one of my friends named Alex Shahid. He's big in network marketing. And man, every week, every month, he send me a message. Hey man, when you going? I'm like, bro, I can't, like, I've gotten better, but I have still not overcome that introvert in me yet. No. I can get up and speak in front of people, and I got to go to a whole different mindset. I got to become a whole different person to go do it. But that introvert is still in me.
Absolutely. Nikki says mentors is a reoccurring thing. It is. Like, you can't just get one mentor and think that this mentor is going to teach you everything you need to know for the rest of your life. Like, in every field, and I'll probably say this till I turn blue, in every part of your life, in every aspect, you need mentors.
It'll be hard to turn blue.
Purple. Pink. But you need one in every aspect of your life. Even if it's not a mentor where you're paying that mentor, but someone that has accomplished things that you're trying to accomplish that you can call on and ask for help.
Yes. Tell me about your wife. Was she always supportive?
Yeah.
Like what was
that
her
dynamic?
Going into it, she was kind of like, this is your thing, right? Because she had just graduated college too, and she wanted to go into psychology, right? And I think at the time she was working at the airport for TSA. And she was like, yeah, we can do this, but like, it's going to be your thing, right? But, in network marketing, when you're mentoring other people and like you're bringing these groups to your house, like it can't really just be your thing. It's got to be our thing, right? So over about a year or so into it, because I spent 7 years doing it, about a year or two into it, she started seeing, because she's always had a passion for coaching and mentoring people too, especially young women, right? And so that gave her an opportunity to do that. It gave her an opportunity to connect with the younger women that we were working with on our team and build relationships with them and coach and mentor them. So she kind of latched on to that, and that was like her role, right? So over the years though, because we spent a lot of time and money like going to conferences, traveling, doing those things, it eventually became something that she just kind of wanted to move on from. And I was kind of moving on from it too, because I started getting into the internet world and like the online marketing world and seeing what the possibilities were. And it so happened that like, we both kind of decided at similar times that like, I don't think this isn't our end all be all. I think there's something else that we're being pulled to. And we both kind of drifted away from it over time and found ourselves in, like, she's a manager of a bank now, and I'm working in marketing, building consulting businesses.
Sweet. I got a question.
First of all, for you guys to be doing it together and then all of a sudden decide, okay, this isn't what we want to do, that had to take a turmoil. Like, what was that between who's gonna stop first, and how much do you keep doing to make sure we're still eating, to make sure our family? How many kids did you guys have at that point when you decided?
When we stopped, well, I was working full time too. So like the business wasn't full time. I was working in marketing at that time. We got into the business right as I graduated, and I went directly into working after that. So I was always only doing it part time. So it wasn't the thing that was putting food on the table. But the thing is, she wasn't working. She was a stay-at-home mom for 5 years. Our first 5 years of marriage, and we had four kids in that 5 years. So yeah,
staying at home, buddy. It'll do it to you.
Yeah. So like it was tough. It was tough growing a family that fast, and then my income wasn't growing that fast at that time. And that's really what pushed me into what I do now, because that's like 2018, where we had our 5th child, and she was staying at home, or 2019, she was staying at home, and I was like, how are we surviving? Like, I'm making like $45K a year. I'm living in Memphis at this time, and we got our 5th child on the way, and like, I'm trying to run contract jobs, do network marketing on the side, and I'm getting interested in this online marketing thing for myself, this personal brand building. And all of it just came tumbling down in 2019. And God just kind of reset me completely. We got out the network marketing. We didn't really get out, but we just stopped being as active. Stopped really pushing it and doing meetings and stuff, and started really focusing in on like, okay, what is God really calling us to do right now? And I got fired from the job I was working all at the same time. I got fired as soon as we decided to move forward from it. I lost my job. I lost the contract that I had outside of that. There was a full-time contract that was paying most of my income anyway. And I was at zero. And I was like, okay, this was right before COVID hit in 2020. So it was the end of 2019 going into 2020, early 2020. And so I was like, all right, we got to have a conversation. She's not working. I'm not working, but we got bills and we got kids to feed.
Now,
And
kids
so,
please.
yeah. And she was like, well, it sounds like you gotta go find another job. And I wasn't really feeling that. I was like, you know what? I don't think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go all in on this personal brand thing, and I'm gonna start building from the ground up. And I did that, and that's when I met my business. Well, I had met my business partner, but that's when we really started building our real relationship because he was the only person I knew that knew how to do what I was trying to do. And I called him up, and I was like, "Yo, John, I just got fired. I just got let go from the agency that we both were working for previously." And he was like, "What happened?" And I told him the story. He's like, "So what you gonna do?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna build a personal brand, but I need something to sell. Like I need to put something together that I can sell." And he was the first person that helped me put together like an offer and to sell online. And I literally built in that year, I built a 6-figure consulting business strictly off of cold DMs on Instagram and cold DMs on Facebook with one offer, with one thing I sold. Um, and just hustled. I was working like 14, 16-hour days, messaging people from
Let's get it, man.
dawn.
Let's get it, man. That's amazing. And a lot of times people see the results, but they don't know the backstory.
They don't know the process,
They
the
don't
pain.
know the ups and the downs and the 14-hour days and the trying to decide what we're gonna eat and those type of things. So like we
and
like
still
to kind
keeping
of
it calm with the kids because I'm sure your kids didn't even notice that. Okay, all hell just broke loose. We don't really know what we're gonna do. We
They
ain't
did
got
notice that like
like
daddy is
trying
at the
to.
house a lot. They were like,
Yeah.
daddy is at home. They weren't used to that.
yeah, man. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. I know that takes a
Yes.
lot to share those stories.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing. So what is it about marketing or branding that you like? What attracted you
Intrigues
to it?
you with it. Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't attracted to it. Um, I had took a job with Service Master that they opened a position for me to take, and I didn't really like the job, so they ended up trying to switch me into doing some stuff that I didn't want to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and apply to the place that I had applied to before I got here, which was a moving company. So I called the moving company back. I'm like, hey, do y'all have that position open still? And they're like, you know what? We have a position, but it's not the same position. How about you come in and interview for it? And I come in and interview, and it's a marketing position. And they're like, we have a marketing position. Like you're a clean cut young man, like you're professionally dressed and you're well spoken. Like we'd love to put you in this market. And this is like a year after I'd been doing network marketing. So like I had built some skill sets, some personable skills. And they were like, we're gonna make you the marketing person for our franchise. And I was like, okay, I know nothing about marketing at this time. Like,
Wow.
other than like talking to people and
Other
going to
than
meetings,
sales. Yeah.
like that's it. And they hired me. They hired me for the position. I didn't even have a Facebook page at that time. I had turned off all my social media, and so I had to turn it all back on. And that's actually how I got into marketing. And I worked for that company for like 3 years, just learning from the people in corporate, teaching me how to do marketing, how to run social media, how to post content, like how to do all that stuff, run ads. And that's how I got into marketing. I caught a passion for marketing because I was good at it. Like I just realized that like I'm good at doing this. So like I'm gonna kind of ride this train a little bit. And
Right.
I just kept finding more success and more success and more success with it. So that's how I got into
Amazing.
marketing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think most people don't know how they got in. Like you find out later, like, yeah, I might like this a little bit, or it works.
You see results.
Yeah, you see results. Results make you keep going, whether you have a passion for it or not. It makes you keep going. All right,
Yeah.
so you may have been the first person, Devin, to say that they didn't have a direct influence from an entrepreneur. Like everyone that we've talked to, someone in their family, someone that they were close to, end up putting that entrepreneur bug in them. But I feel like yours may have been from generational. Like it sounds like you were born with that hustle. You were born with that bug in you to continue to grow and do things on your own.
Well,
Um,
I was. But I'll tell you this. This is how I became an entrepreneur. It ties back to sports. And this is, I thought it was weird. I thought I was weird, actually, because of this. When I first started playing baseball, I started playing baseball at 5 years old. Imagine a 5-year-old first trying to play baseball, and the first day after practice, they come home and they take their glove and their ball into the backyard by themselves and start throwing the ball against the brick wall in the backyard, catching ground balls by themselves for hours. That was me. Nobody had to tell me to go practice. Nobody had to tell me that I needed to practice to get better at it. It was just an innate thing in my head, like, okay, if I do this enough, I'll get good at it. So I want to be good at this thing that I suck at right now at 5 years old. So I'm gonna go do that. And I've been that way about everything that I've ever done that I had a desire to get good at since I can remember. Entrepreneurship was just another thing. It wasn't really entrepreneurship, it was making money.
making money.
It
It was a
was
sport.
like
Making money.
I wanted to get good at making money because
it became
I
a
knew that it
sport.
was either a job or working for myself. I knew there was only two options. Like I do it on my own, I find a way to make it happen, or I go work for somebody and they pay me, right? And I knew that the guy across the street would pay me $50 to wash his car. And after I did his car one time, I was like, who else will pay me to wash their car? And so I just kept doing it over and over.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I heard you say you got a partner. What advice would you give anybody that's looking to partner up, or they're starting a partnership, or they don't have everything they need to do it by themselves and they need a partner? What advice would you give that person?
I would say take your time on partnering up, right? Take opportunities to do things together that don't require partnership. So like maybe just talking through ideas of things and hearing what they're doing on their side of the business and what they're doing with themselves. Like I wouldn't partner with someone who doesn't already have something going on, right? That's one thing that me and John had is we both had 6-figure businesses before we started working together. We both were doing okay, right? But when we got together, it just exploded. One of the other things was we knew each other for years. We had worked with each other at an agency where we got to do work together and see how each other, communicated, get to know each other's personalities, things like that. And then after that, we kind of took a liking to like being around each other and talking. And so we would talk on the phone because we don't live in the same city. I didn't meet him physically for the first 2 years of our partnership.
Wow.
Like we would just talk over Zoom. So like we were already doing multiple 6 figures before I even met him in person. But I knew who he was and I knew his work ethic and I knew his expertise. And I knew that what I had was a compliment to what he had and what he had was a compliment to what I was trying to do. And we both could see it.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. But
knowing that you're missing something and finding that thing that you're missing.
But I was praying for this. I prayed for this.
Let's go.
I prayed for this for a whole. I was like, God, like I need help because I can't figure out what wall I'm running into. Right. And I remember a year before we ever partnered, I was sitting in the bed watching a movie with my wife. And there was this movie about these two people who partnered together and they were walking out of a building. And as they were walking out of a building together, freshly new business partners going on their venture, God said, that's going to be you and John. And I was like, okay. And I heard it. And I was like, all right. And I hung on to that word. And I was like, all right. I brought it up to John like 2 months later. And he was like, nah, like, I'm not really looking for somebody to work with. Right. And so we didn't do it, but we kept talking. We kept staying in each other's ear, sharing ideas. And then a year later, almost a year later, we were on Zoom one late night, having a couple of beers, just talking about business, talking shop. And we both started talking about what we were frustrated with our businesses. And as we talked about it, it just was like, well, it sounds like you're struggling with lead gen. I'm struggling with sales. You're great at sales because you can close people like night and day. And I can generate leads for days. I was like, why don't we try to like fill each other's gaps? Just test it out and see how it works. And we did. And the first month we did that, the most we had ever made before that was like 8, 10, 12K in a month, right? By ourselves. I think that month we did $39,000 in like the first month of working together. So like when you get a sign like that, it's just like, okay, this looks like it can work out. Right.
Absolutely.
And it's just been going up from there. But like I tell him all the time, I was like, bro, I'm introverted. Me doesn't lend to wanting to partner with somebody.
Right.
I like to do things by myself. Right. But
Right.
if God had never put that seed in me, I wouldn't even never thought about it.
Wouldn't even thought about it.
No.
Wow. So we kind of got a saying. So when there's partnerships, they're gonna time, talent, and treasure. So it sounds like both you guys' talent is what y'all was missing. And when you put those two talents together, you got something explosive.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Said, wow, the reward for being obedient to God's word. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that we have to understand that, and we faith people. So we talk about God on here. If you don't like God, then this ain't the podcast for you. So you sorry. You gotta truly understand that all things are happening for your good.
All things are happening for your good.
And you might not see it, you might not understand it. Losing your job, losing that contract, it was devastating. But it was all lining up for something big.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we're going through stuff, if we just sit down, relax, fight through it.
I was just gonna say, you definitely got to fight through it. Like, had you not did all that, you probably would have been comfortable.
Yes.
You probably wouldn't have experienced the hustle that was in you from before, all the way from being a child to know that, okay, now I'm at zero. Wife out of a job. Not out of a job. Wife is just this is her job to stay at home. Like, my job is to support her as a stay-at-home mom.
Pressure.
Right.
That's a lot of pressure.
Like
that just gave me chills, because it's something about, for one, guys already have enough pressure on them anyway that they put in their own head because they got to take care of everybody. But to hit that rock bottom and you like, I got to look at these kids, I got to look at my wife, and then she's telling me to get a job, and I got to tell her, nah, that ain't what I'm gonna do.
That ain't the vision.
And I got to prove to her that I can be man enough to support the family. I can be man enough to take care of her from emotional, from a physical, and a financial standpoint, when I ain't really got none of that for real, because I'm trying to build myself back up and hype myself up to really get to the next level. So had you not experienced that, I don't even think that all of this happens for you.
It don't.
Like,
I doubt it.
Like, God is so strategic in it. Oh, that's just so amazing to me.
Nikki said, I needed this today.
Nikki said, I needed this today.
Oh, yeah. It's so if for entrepreneurs that are on the fence, they're thinking about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they're afraid. So we deal in real estate. And the biggest thing that we see is fear. Like, a lot of people are afraid to take that next step and actually take some action and do it.
Or to be uncomfortable for a minute.
Yes.
To be uncomfortable for a minute.
To learn something new. So for people who have that fear, what advice would you give them to help overcome that fear?
There's probably two things. Is you got to radically restructure your sphere of influence. So like those 7 years where I was in network marketing, nobody in my family believed I was going to build that. Nobody. Like, they were like, you may make a couple pieces of change doing that, but like nobody was like, you're going to make a living doing that, right? You can make some decent money. And we made some decent money from it. We built a nice sized team in those 7 years. We actually had the biggest team in our organization in West Tennessee. So like we did something significant, but like I had to mute and stop spending time with everybody including my brother, my mom, my dad. Like, I didn't talk to them on the phone. I didn't respond to text messages. Like, I was locked in. The only people I talked to were the people who said I could. If you said I could, you got my ear. If you didn't, you lost it. And it was that radical. And they knew it. They knew it. They couldn't even talk to me about certain stuff because I just wouldn't listen. I go to holidays, I'm like, don't talk to me about that. Like, I don't want to hear it. Let's talk about something else. Like, and it's just that's how you got to become, because what you let in is going to determine how you think about the things that are going around you. And when things look hard and you got people telling you it's hard and that you can't do it, guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Yeah. So like that's one thing. And then the second thing is you have to be, and this goes back to the spiritual side and faith, is like you got to believe that that's what God wants you to do. Right? Like if you wholeheartedly believe this is what God wants you to do, it really don't matter what comes across your path. Like if you have that kind of faith in God, you're going to overcome it, or you're going to find a way to, right? So like, that's kind of where I was at. That's why I didn't go back and get a job, because I knew God had told me not to. It didn't, and I couldn't even listen to my wife. I was like, I hear you, babe, but like, that ain't what God told me. And I know what I'm about to say gonna make you feel real uncomfortable and real insecure in this situation. But it's what I got to do, because if I'm more afraid if I don't do it, what's gonna happen, than if I do it, knowing that God's gonna make a way. Right.
Powerful. To the first point you made, we call that auditing your circle. Mm-hmm. Everybody in your circle is doing one or two things. Either they're feeding you faith or they're feeding you fear.
Yeah.
So if you ever really want to truly grow, audit your circle. And just like Mr. Dillard said, if they are feeding you fear, cut them out. Yeah. Only talk to them people that's feeding you faith, that's giving you positive feedback, that's telling you can do it, that's motivating you. And you will see a drastic change in what you're doing. Absolutely. Because you're only getting the good stuff in. So that's dramatic. You said I had to cut my brother off.
My mama.
Like, that's deep.
Oh yeah.
Jackie said it's mind over matter. It absolutely is. It's mind over matter.
Yep.
She said that's the big, putting everyone on pause. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Big. So for my people who's interested in marketing, give them a nugget or two that can help them grow their marketing or their business and what they're doing.
I think whenever I talk marketing, it always comes down to foundations. Like, and the foundation of marketing is human nature. It's human nature. It's just psychology. That's all marketing is a psychological game. If you know the person that you're trying to sell well enough, when I mean well enough, like, you know what they go to sleep scared of about their situation. You know what they wake up desiring the most about their life. Then those two things alone will allow you to market in a way to grab their attention. Because that's all you're trying to do with marketing. That's why marketing and sales aren't the same thing. Marketing is about getting people's attention and getting them emotional about what you're doing. And you let sales handle it on the back end, right? But you got to know what people want, and you got to know what people are afraid of, like truly afraid of, not on the surface, like what they go to sleep about and they think about, don't tell nobody. You got to know your person, that's your avatar that well. If you know them that well, you can control how they think and how they perceive things. That's all marketing is. It's psychology. So if you want to get really good at marketing, read books on psychology. Read books like Human Nature or like Psycho-Cybernetics, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Don't read marketing books. Like, marketing books are just tactics. Like, read books about human psychology. When you read those, you change the game for yourself.
Let's go.
That was deep. That was simple, basic, but profound
at the same time. Yeah.
Like, that was deep, because truly, I echo exactly what you say. It's all psychological. Wow.
But I would go and I would not think about it from a psychological
I wouldn't either,
standpoint.
but like
I'm going to find
borderline genius.
that was definitely genius, Devin. I'm going to find who's my guy. To the point where I don't even understand his tactics that he's saying because
your $100 million offer guy.
no,
Oh yeah, Alex Hormozy?
I'm gonna do Alex. Yeah, I am gonna do Alex, but Alex do psychology with it too. But no, this one right here. Hold up. Come on, with my hit the all. And I know G gonna get mad at me for saying this, but Dan Kennedy.
Oh, master psychologist.
Like
Master.
But then when he start throwing these strategies at you, you really don't need the strategies. You need the psychology behind it for real.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's why he's so good. He's a master copywriter. But all copywriting is using words to shift psychology, to shift the way people think. That's all copywriting is. But if you don't understand how people think and the nature of people, then you cannot use your words properly, strategically.
Devin, you have a serious gift. Okay. You have a serious gift.
For real.
I appreciate it.
I'm so thankful that you came on today. I'm so thankful that you shared it. Have you guys learned anything? Tell me if you learned a nugget or two from Devin today. Type it in the chat and let me know if you learned anything from Devin.
So with your business, I know you work with real estate coaches. Do you work with, I don't want to say regular people, but regular entrepreneurs who have different type of businesses, or are you only locked into the real estate coaching space?
So right now I'm super locked into the real estate coaching space. I do have plans within like the next probably 6 months of opening a small group for dadpreneurs. Any like dads who are like working on building their business, they got kids, they got a job maybe, or if they're doing it full time, but they're struggling to make it grow because they're like, how do I balance handling family? Like my wife works, I'm handling family. I'm out of shape because I haven't been able to work out, or like my mind's going crazy. I feel like I'm about to lose it. How do I stabilize that? Like I want to open up a community, and I've been kind of planning it behind the scenes for like maybe 4 or 5 months, where I serve those people, not just with marketing strategies, but like with life strategies. Because I mean, right now I'm at home with 3 of my kids because like I'm a stay at home dad for more time than I'm a consultant. I tell people all the time, I spend more time with my kids than I do with my clients because I built my business that way. I built my business to be part-time and my life to be full-time.
Well, your kids are quiet. Let me say that.
That would be my kids.
That's definitely not my kids. Whenever I'm recording,
baby,
they trying to slide to the camera.
Yeah, my two babies, they're gone in daycare. So like, but my kids are older. I have a 16, 8, and 7.
Okay. So, that's understandable. They can manage.
They can manage.
The 7 will fall in line.
If the 8 do right.
Yeah.
The 8 do right.
What's up? Well, man, how do people follow you for more tips and tricks? What's the best way to get in contact with you?
If they want to just get in contact with you or need your help?
Yeah. So I'm on Facebook majority of the time, and you can find me at Devan Dillard. So I have 2 pages. So there's a Devan Anthony Dillard, which is my full name. That's a really old page that I don't use anymore. You might find that when you put this in. And then I have Devan Dillard. That's just that first and last name. And you can find me there.
All right. So I know we got to go, Ashley. But you got something to say?
Say what you got to say first.
Why Facebook? Why not Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X? Why Facebook? Mr. Marketer?
I use Facebook because it's easier to find my clients there. Community, no other platform has built communities the way Facebook has, and communities make targeting your avatar a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, listen to me. That's free game, but when I tell y'all that was some major game he just gave y'all, like that was major game because I recently kind of we've always been kind of Facebook centric,
Yeah.
But I've recently, and we're live in my group now, where I just started kind of building that community, and it is a game changer if you really start to put effort and understanding how to build a community and how to help people and how to give people a roadmap to where they're trying to get to. Facebook is a good place to build that community that's of substance. Like I see a lot of, like, some of my mentors, they got their group off of Facebook, but it's not as interactive as the Facebook groups are. So that was major game.
Facebook puts billions of dollars towards making sure people stay on Facebook and interact. Like other platforms don't have that kind of market research and data and money going towards that. So like everything on Facebook, like you may start paying attention to it, is like everything on Facebook is geared, formulated, and structured to keep you on the platform as long as possible. So like,
because I have Facebook fingers myself. When I'm supposed to be my most productive, it only starts after I hit Facebook and realize I just wasted 30 seconds scrolling, and I'm not even. What am I supposed to be doing again? I don't even remember.
I don't even
remember. And Antonio's like, "What are you supposed to be doing?" I didn't mean to hit this app. But hold up, real quick. Let me make this comment real quick.
I got it. I've been there.
Do this real quick. Absolutely. So Jackie said some things that she learned was priceless goals, consulting part-time, life full-time. Absolutely.
That's real. Build your, not your job, but build your business around your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if you do it in the beginning, it's not hard to follow through with it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, if you build it the other way around, it's hard to go away from it.
Yes.
Because we started, we built a business. It was mainly business, lifestyle, family, all that wasn't a part of it.
Well, we didn't have much family at first, so it was only
us.
So it was easier to just business and us, and we could manage it.
Mm-hmm.
But as those kids start to roll in and those attentions, everybody needs attention.
It's starting to shift. So we've been going through that transition where we're hiring more people and we are putting more systems and people in place so that we can do not less work.
What kind of do
less
more
execution, more high level thinking.
Yeah.
Go back to the words you said. You do less work.
Yeah. Less work. I got you.
That is the goal. This is one thing I have talked to dads about all the time. They in my DMs like ask me. I do not glorify doing more work ever. If I can make $1 million this year working 2 hours a day, I will do that.
Absolutely.
Like over everything else. If I can make $800,000, if I can lose $200,000 but work 10 hours less, I'll take that too.
Sounds good.
It's just a mindset shift. This is a mindset shift.
I'm gonna challenge you though. I need you to start this group though. When you gonna start this group? Even if it ain't nothing immaculate, I wouldn't mind being a part of it and supporting it. So
yeah. I told a guy yesterday, I was on the phone on a Zoom with him, and I was like, you know what? I got to get this thing started by next month. Like too many people have been at me, so like I got to get it going.
Yeah, I know a lot of my students are dads also because we attract family people. So like I would say half of my
all the
husbands gonna be in this group talking. So it's definitely a market and a niche for it. So let me know when you get it going. I definitely support it.
I appreciate that, man. I will. I'll send you a message.
All right. You want to close out, Esther?
Thank you, Devin. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This was good to my soul. It looks like it was good to everybody else's soul in this chat. I see y'all. I don't even know, Tonio.
You know?
I don't even know. You gonna help me out?
Help you out. Well, reach out. He said he's on Facebook. I'm telling y'all now, ask him questions, get in his DM, he will help you.
Yeah, get in his head. Absolutely.
Yep, I am available.
Find out what it takes to get to know him, be a part of his network, do whatever you need to do. If this gave you any type of goosebumps.
I got rub me, don't you say goosebumps though.
That was I got the word out better rubbing you. Any type of goosebumps, make sure you reach out to Devan. Make sure you follow him. I follow him on TikTok too, and he does a really good job on TikTok too, even though Facebook is his main source. So make sure you follow him on Facebook and TikTok because I love your reels. Yeah.
Sounds good. We got a real estate conference coming up. REI Decoded Summit.
There we go.
If you haven't got your early bird tickets yet, make sure you get your tickets. We're gonna do a bus tour. We're gonna have different people coming in to talk. We're gonna be talking about mindset. We're gonna be talking about funding, how to get business funding, how to get real estate funding. We'll be talking about how to find deals. So, man,
and what not to do when it comes to rehabbing, when it comes to investing, because a lot of times we only talk about what to do, but what not to do so that you don't run into those pitfalls that could literally leave you hurting in the future.
Totally agree. So, man, get your ticket. It's on Eventbrite. Go check it out. Thank you again, Mr. Dillard, for coming through. Mr. Dillard.
So, that sounds like for us, that sounds like prom or homecoming.
That's homecoming right there.
Right.
Mr. Dillard.
That sounds like prom or homecoming.
Did you ever run for Mr. Dillard?
No, I wasn't. I feel like you were Mr. Dillard. Were you?
No, I was Mr. Homecoming one.
Mr. Homecoming. Oh, okay.
Hey, we're gonna get out of here. Is there anything that you need from us? Anything that we can help you with? Talk to us.
No, I think that and you guys do a great job of doing what you're doing right now, man. Y'all put a lot of positivity out there in the marketing space, and Facebook. I see you every day. I think I engage with a post of y'all's every day, probably. So I love what y'all are doing. Keep it up.
Yes, thank you. All right, man. We'll talk later.
Absolutely. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Love you guys.
Peace.